I married to a white woman, and I'm
Right.
taking privilege. I'm taking that privilege because if Anna is walking with me, no one will attack me. You know,
Right.
in earlier days, Anna told me like, Sachi, don't drive alone.
Okay, so how's my hair? Is it fluffy enough?
Yeah, that's what's the time there?
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Waswo X Waswo, Evil O, and today I'm coming to you again from Udaipur, but I am once again speaking to an Indian artist abroad, somebody many people in India know and dearly love, Sajeev Visweswaran. Um, and I have to say that the last time I met Sajeev was in Chicago, and we
That's
had a lovely time, and we went through the Art Institute of Chicago together with Anna, your wife. How are you,
yes.
Sajeev?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. We are moving forward, right? This lockdown, it's been difficult, but we are better in position now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you remember that meeting in Chicago?
Yes, I do remember. Like we went to your one of your favorite restaurant. It's very old. It was nice. We had beer together.
I think we
Yeah,
went to the Arts Cafe or something right across from the Art Institute.
that's correct. Yeah, it's very kind of traditional type of like very American like stuff, right?
Well, it's been around ever since I was young. And then we
Yeah.
went to see the Gauguin exhibition at the Art
That's
Institute.
an amazing one, which I really cherish. Seeing that exhibition, I bought a catalog from there. It's really amazing. I
And
feel lucky that
and I remember you really liked the prints that Gauguin made.
that's correct. Yeah, like
Yeah.
experimental prints, right? It's not really a kind of traditional way he did. Even off registered prints was one of his a kind of work which is like which he tries to experiment with it, right? We always printmakers always prefer to be align the block and the paper, but that was really interesting to know because I was like trying to take something from that exhibition to teach here with students actually, and I did that once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a question to throw out to you right away, and that is,
Yes.
why do your jackfruits bleed?
Oh, so jackfruit image.
Tell us about the jackfruits and why do they bleed?
Yeah. So this image came in 2014 when I was part of One Shanti Road residency. Um, one Shanti Road residency, right? Suresh Jaram was the curator and art critic who supports youngsters. Like it's really wonderful for youngsters because like he was telling me, when they support when one artist come for art residency from abroad, they will support an Indian artist. They will give some small amount to Indian artist. That's the only way he can promote because it's all expensive anyways. So we used to walk around early morning at Lalbagh, morning walk. Then I used to like it's South India, right? I used to see like very familiar images all around, even dosha, fruits and everything. So there was a festival, and I clicked a few pictures of these fruits which was displayed at Lalbagh. During that time, it was a kind of exhibition, fruits or vegetable exhibition. I don't remember. And that image came from there. And I took some prints, I took some serigraphy prints actually. Like I exposed the drawing and I took some prints. Then later, what happened 2014, I'm still working on this image because like when like I did many process like take taking one image and I did screen printing and then I did etching, then I did huge watercolors. Every time whenever I take this image, I get some kind of why jackfruit. It's come into my mind because whenever I go to my hometown, my neighbors, I can literally see them at their friends and giving me a jackfruit because jackfruit you can't eat alone, so you are supposed to share. This is the way how neighbors interact and share their affection and love and care to the neighbors in Kerala. That's a must thing because it's huge. So for me, it's a kind of, sharing love, affection, like what 2014, our regime like this. I'm just literally why you asked me why this bleeding. So I was like trying to connect certain things because when the present regime came in 2014, it was like, kind of there was a kind of polarization among the society. So I was thinking there was a ban. There was a ban on beef, and um, so I thought, jackfruit is supposed to be a kind of vegetarian fruit, and I was thinking to, juxtapose a kind of flesh inside it, right? So that it will kind of provoke. It was a kind of direct response to the ban which happened around 2015, 16. I don't remember which year they
Because
banned.
you're from
It was banned
Kerala.
early.
You're
Yeah,
from
I am from
Kerala.
Kerala. Yeah, I am
And
from
people
Kerala.
have good beef fries and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So
So
none of this
yeah.
stuff
So I
affected you.
just yeah.
Felt like a
So this
cultural
bleeding.
attack, I imagine.
Yeah. So if you are not eating it, if you are not sharing it, it will bleed. You know. So I just worked with 2 3 images in response. That bleeding is it's a direct response to the kind of restrictions which the regime put on people. Like you are not supposed to eat certain things. They came into our kitchen basically. So
Right.
that was my concern. You are like the government itself as telling you what to eat and what not to eat. So jackfruit is still going strong.
You have two jackfruits in your possession that I bought that you're holding, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah, I do
Someday,
have that.
someday I will probably never see them. You'll be sending them directly to the University of Iowa Museum at some point when I give you the go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I
So
think I don't know. Like I was literally I wanted you to see it. So I might let's see because I have to. I might send some works to India. So maybe I can do something.
well, I
When
tell you,
somewhere.
the reason I'm afraid of it, if number one, you're relatively close to Iowa,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
I imported a print by quite a famous artist, Max Ernst. I imported
Uh-huh.
to India, and it spent 7 months in customs,
Oh
and I
my
had to
God.
fight the bureaucracy for 7 months to get it released. So that's why I say it might be better if you just hold on to it and then you can
Yeah.
send
Oh,
it
I didn't
directly
know
to
all these
Iowa.
things.
But right
Yeah.
now, the museum, because it's under construction, they're not accepting any donations until the museum is finished. You know,
Oh.
that was,
Hmm.
but anyway, let's get back to you. So
Yeah.
I'm going back to your early works. You also did a fish. You did a bleeding fish, I seem to remember, as
Yeah.
a
That's
print.
correct.
And
Yeah.
you've done a few of those. So I mean, you've really been interested in this food or this animal and the cut that happens to it. Um,
That's correct. Actually, so fish. Just I was trying to it's a kind of metaphor sometimes. Like the way like I'm not a woman, right? Sometimes I really feel like the oppression women suffering from. Those kind of harassment, rape, and all those kind of issues which I see in the society, right? So I was trying. I don't know. I just came into my mind. It was the first image I made in 2004, 2006. The fish, bleeding fish. So um, I thought the fish was like a direct metaphor for a kind of for a woman actually. So that I don't know how much I was like um, um, strong in it, but I just thought I should draw something. But yeah, I did few prints, then I shifted to something else. But I'm still interested in making such images actually.
I,
But
I
I'm not
became
sure
I
how.
became attracted to you as a printmaker, but I remember that you did these incredibly beautiful line drawings on a very large scale. I'm not sure exactly how large they were, but the
It's 5 feet
simplicity,
by 4 feet. Yeah,
five
yeah,
feet by 4 feet,
four
and the
feet. Yeah.
simplicity of the line and what you express with the line is just amazing to me. Do you want to talk about some of those just for a moment?
Yeah. So earlier works like I lived in a small town, small village in Trichur. So Look, like one more thing I want to add. I was from a different background. I did BSc mathematics from Calicut University.
Okay.
So I did one graduation before going to Delhi to do my bachelor's in painting. So I wasn't doing so much of drawing, but I've seen, Kerala artists like who mostly South Indian artists have this kind of lines actually. So I'm always fascinated about, Nambudiri, like so many artists. They express through their lines actually. So I went to Delhi for my bachelor's degree. So I come for vacations to Kerala and stay with my parents and my grandmother. So I really wanted to be with them all the time. So and there is a kind of exercise like you have to do sketching because I'm new into this field, right? So you have to do these regular sketches. So I started doing drawings of my grandmother, which I became so obsessed of, and many years I made. I do have 100 drawings of my grandmother.
Yeah,
All
those
are the
drawings
pen
are
drawings.
absolutely gorgeous. Those are the
Yeah,
drawings you call Nani, yeah?
Nani
Nani.
series. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and in 2007 she died. So what happened? Like I just thought, oh, what should I draw now? People started saying, why you are making so many grandmother drawings? So I was like, oh, I should. Like I was so young in the sense, not with age, in this field. So I thought, okay, I should shift something else. So what I saw at my home is like, my mom taking care. She took all the work which grandmother was doing actually, like gardening, cooking, taking care all of us. So I made a drawing of my mother, which is like she's making a huge landscape. She's stitching a landscape. All are in line drawings, okay? And some colors are added on papaya landscape because my grandmother used to like papaya fruit. So my mother is stitching a papaya landscape. It's like a cloth fabric, and trees coming. Or I don't know whether
I
you
don't
have
think
seen
I've
it.
seen that one.
So I
No.
started doing that. Yeah, and I started seeing like how is my father's response. Even I was not keen to draw my father because there is always a kind of that patriarchy is there always, dominance, oppression, like everything is done by woman at home. I'm not saying he's bad, but it's like
That's one thing
generally
I
speaking.
find. I always find that about Kerala, that even though it's basically a communist controlled state, the patriarchy is really horrible there.
That's true. That's
Wouldn't you
correct.
agree?
So
I mean,
I do
that part
agree.
really
Yeah,
hasn't changed.
yeah. And there is so many other factor too, like casteism,
Yeah.
about their like all these things still happening. But people are younger generations are much more into much more open about all these things, so they accept things and they respect somehow. That's what I felt these days. So I saw father just walking around, he doesn't even help and all these things, right? Like mom is doing everything. Papa will come and sit with us, talk to us. It's like housework is it's a big thing. You'll get tired. Even someone is like ill, mom is like taking care. But if she's ill, who will take care of her? Kind of stuff.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, so there is an image, huge work, which is 5 feet by 4 feet, which is like you can see. Father is like simply brushing the teeth, but mama is in the garden. She's trying to pluck fruits, to cook food. And there is a cat um, looking at her, staring at her on top of this. There is a kind of, what do you say, this kind of pandal you keep, and these vegetables grow from it. So that's a huge drawing. So those drawings, for especially for bigger ones, I use photo references. I told my father, just pose for me. So it was like a kind of fascination towards family attachment, and I miss my family all the time. I left Kerala in 2002. After that, it's like
So
missing family.
if I can interrupt you, would you consider those drawings to be just scenes from life, or are they cultural critique?
Yes. No, it's scenes from life, and when then I started thinking like this is like these works came around 2010. When I think about the society, when the people outside, how people are struggling, how women are struggling, then so many like it was a kind of long thought process, right? Then I started connecting it with my family. Even if my father is not misbehaving with my mother, I just represented him as a kind of male, a kind of dominant person, right? So there is one more drawing which I wanted to put, give you a reference. Is like in one of the picture, it's a banana landscape. It's again 5 feet by 4 feet. Father is cutting my mom's hair. She's like sitting, in a banana landscape. It's a huge work. And the cat is not happy about it. Cat is like walking away from the scene. These are the most, I do feel these are the most strong works which I made
I remember that
earlier
work. That's an
days.
absolutely beautiful work. I always loved your line
Yeah,
drawings a lot.
yeah.
Your printmaking as well, but your line drawings were absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I started doing printmaking seriously. I think around 2012, I guess. I was from a painting background. I did painting from Delhi College of Art. Yeah. So I just want to add one more thing to the about the process. Then I started slowly looking towards the people around, right? Like what's happening all around, because most of my image as family affections and struggle, right? Then I started looking around. So I became more, my friends are very, I do have friends, activist friends, journalist friends, art historians, where we discuss about history, politics, geography, everything. So even my close friends, like who is younger to me, started having this kind of, they have this kind of thing, right? Resistance, like they are part of it. And I became a part of it, part of the community. Like I wasn't so much aware about all these things. I started realizing it very later in my stage. That is one of the reason I developed my imaginary like very late. Like even all these drawings come in 2010. Now it's 2021. It's like 10 years. And I am 41.
Yeah.
So, so I don't regret about it, because like once you have a basic thing, right, drawing, or if you have a medium, and it's you can like, even if you can develop images or whatever. So that was my concern actually. So right now I'm really fascinated about making or giving a kind of solidarity to the movement, to the people who are really struggling, even if it's
No, you did
political
your
or
migrant
domestic.
series, you did your farmers protest series. I
Farmers
did.
protest, and there is few
Yeah,
images
you're
which
pretty much
is
on
based
top
on
of the
Kashmir
politics
politics,
in
and
India.
people do say that your strong works are much more stronger, like grandmother series. But I believe that too. But I do believe right now I am in a kind of mode which is giving me more confidence as an artist.
I was
What
curious
is
about the one you did, one that was called like something about the blinded or something, but there was
it's
actually
a bit it yeah it's called witness blinding.
witness blinding, and there's actually a tear in it. Is that tear intentional?
Yeah, it's like I like when you see it from far, it's a kind of it's a um, um, one of the protesters died in Kashmir. Like I'm not from Kashmir, but I do feel I do have friends from Kashmir, so I do feel how they feel. Like they don't feel like a citizen of this country, right? So for them to express, it's like you will be like what do you say, you will be like arrested for sedition and everything. Like so for I'm taking my liberty as a kind of artist activist to give a kind of solidarity with this movement, right? So the image which we are talking about is it's a morning scene, like one of the protesters died, and the people, it's a 40 by 30, 44 by 30 inch work. It's quite big, it's not small though. So it's like when you see it from far, you see people around, and just you can see emotions. I obviously I took reference from internet, but I manipulated many areas. Like I mix many images from, but I try to make it very what is it, delicate and intricate, in sense more details to their character, their expression. But when you see more closely, you can see these red spots, because the regime, like not about this regime, present regime, but earlier also, they used pellet guns to fire the protesters. And you are not supposed to use this weapon very closely. And many people lost their life, many people lost their eyesight. So that's people are still witnessing it, and they are trying to blind these witnesses. That's what the work all about. So you have to see closer. Some people are like blind, some people have red spot on it. And you said that they kind of cut, right? It's a kind of hand. I just wanted to give it some kind of emphasis, so because it's all
Yeah, it
pencil
looked like a
drawing.
cut in the paper, and I was just, it is a
Yeah.
cut in the paper, correct?
No, not at all. It's shaded. It's shaded
Oh,
in
it's
that
shaded
way.
to look
It
like.
looks
Okay.
like a sharp kind of knife or something, but it's a hand.
Okay.
So you have
Okay.
to check it very, very
Okay. I'll
closely.
have
Yeah,
to
that
look
is
at
one
it
of my
closer.
favorite image. Yeah, that is one of my favorite work, which I
So I want
exhibited at
to,
Detroit.
because I think a lot of people will watch this and they'll want to know about your experience of moving to America. You married an American woman, Anna, who's
Yes.
wonderful,
Yeah.
and you have a wonderful baby now, only one,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And in fact, Anna's taking care of the baby while you're doing this.
That's true.
Do you want to talk about your life in the US and how it has changed from, I mean, you made a comment on my Facebook the other day that you said something like, friends who don't know that you live in paradise, I think referring to people living back in India or in
Yes.
Kerala.
Yes. Yes.
Talk, speak, just speak from your heart about the change in your life.
Yeah, I like many people think that USA is like a kind of fancy place, kind of paradise. You can just people talk about American dreams and all these things, right? But I struggled 3 years to feel home. Person who talk, who are like very social. But when you come here, people are really good. I'm not saying people are really good, but uh, there was no friends. Like, I'm very new, like how I should start from scratch, right? How to interact with people. So it was really tough, and on top of it, I just got married, and marriage is so different, right? It's not like you have a relationship, you have a love story. Like marriage, the level of life, it's different. You will feel the kind of responsibility and all this kind of thing. That's a different and totally different issue. But how I struggled, because I don't know what is my future is about. Because I was in India, I came here in 36, 37 years, I guess. I started making some kind of remarks, some kind of recognitions, like work with small galleries, some shows. People recognized my work, but still I don't get much opportunities. And I came here. Now I need to start from scratch. And everything is expensive here. You can't really,
No.
you need to earn something. People think that it's fancy. Like, people died during this pandemic, and people died because people are poor, like mostly black community with colors, Latinos and everything, right? So this country is like really, like what you say, capitalist country. So
Right.
people have issues with medical insurance. That's really that's, and I don't have a job, I can't really work. I started working after 1.5 years, because you need to have a kind of permit for that. If you want to sell a work, you need a kind of permit to sell. So I need to start as kind of small business somehow. So I call it Sajeev Visweswaran, just to sell works. But it was very tough. First 3 years, I couldn't do anything. Slowly I started, why? Because during this time, it's like depression, anxiety, panic attacks,
I
and all
know
these things.
you moved to the US at a horrible time. The timing was horrible
Horrible.
because,
Yeah.
before you moved, it was actually quite a wonderful place. And then everything just spiraled downhill so quickly. So,
Yeah, like all this hate crimes, all these things, right? I feel afraid to walk around, because I'm a brown, I'm a colored person here. In India, I am black or brown, I don't know. Here I am like a colored person, brown. So I need to think, it's like a kind of, I started panicking. I was telling my wife, Anna, like, I'm really afraid to walk around, because cops might shoot me. Like, you don't know anything, right? You think that it's all safe, it's all fancy. But what I felt after 2014, after this present regime came in, it's the same in India also. People will attack you if you are with a kind of if you are with a woman with a different religion. People will try to kill you, attack you the same way if you have a
but
different political views.
have you had any actual incidents happen to
Oh,
you?
no,
Remember?
because Anna always makes sure that we live in a good. area which is like we live in near to University of Michigan area, which is so liberal.
Right.
You'll see people from all community. Like I I'm fascinated about this place. Yes, there is bad people everywhere, like, and one more, the other stuff is like it's Midwest, right? So when you go to a supermarket, people will greet you. It's a kind of mannerism here. How is, like, how are you doing? And I don't have any reply to them. That's a big
Yeah.
cultural difference for me. I don't know what to say to them. I just panicked,
Well,
what to
isn't it
say.
the same as apkesa? Hey, I mean, how are you? But you don't do that to strangers.
Yeah, we don't do that, and we don't smile at each other, right? Even thing is, like, Indians, like, we like to look around when you go for a tea and everything, right? For me,
Right.
like, I can't do that. People don't like it. Even if I'm going with Anna for a date or something, I have to look at Anna all the time in the restaurant. Like, I don't feel comfortable in that way because I love to see people, and yeah, that kind of. So I now I'm comfortable about it because I'm fine, because we have so many, like, I do have kind of, thought process in between whenever I'm interacting with a person, even if it's a friend, even if it's a nana, which is a good uh, in our field, because we are a bit, what do you say, we always think about work, basically. So that family, like, it's very different, right? When you have this kind of family, and how you responds to the events, responds to the bad things happening to the society. So it's like very difficult sometimes. It was tough for me earlier. Was 1 second, okay? You can cut this, edit it, but I lost a point. I forgot. Um, okay, one thing I want to say is, um, I started realizing, I do feel like deep inside all Indians are kind of racist, you know,
Yeah,
deep
you
inside.
messaged me one time and you said, Laszlo, to be honest, India is a much more racist country than the US, you
Yeah.
know. But I think it's a different kind of racism that goes on here, you
No,
know.
what I my
And I
experience is
also
first
think
thing.
India is more concerned about religion than race. You know, there's a lot
But
of
there
religious
is
bigotry here.
casteism. Yeah,
Yeah,
casteism and religious
right.
bigotry. Because I grown up in such a way that, you know, um, like Dalits, like whoever comes to our home, they will be coming from backside of the house, and Muslims are kind of, oh, they are very dangerous people, kind of stuff, right? I still have that in my mind whenever I see people with beard. So I was like, my wife is a historian, so I started talking with my wife. I started clearing up things, because it's you can grow anytime. It's not like, you are 41. It's everything I learned earlier. It's the same. No, I started respecting, I started realizing what is colorism, what is race, how, like, all this kind of things, going through my mind, actually, like, how should I look at a person, how should I react, and all that. It modified, what do you say, I reinvented myself as a person, and I do feel proud and happy that I got this two, I got uh, two cultures now, in the sense, like, I got an opportunity to learn a different culture, which is much more important, and which much more respectful to the people around. Like, if you are in India, you won't see such things. You will think that whatever your thought, whatever your concerns are, it's the same. But you started, what do you say, reinventing yourself, rethinking yourself about your
Well,
ideas
you've
and
had a
concept about
couple, you
life,
didn't you have an
people, race, and everything.
exhibition in New York? Didn't you have an exhibition or weren't you in
I
an
had a
exhibition in New
Yeah, I
York a
had
couple
two,
times,
three
I think?
exhibitions. Yeah, one was at International Print Center, and one of the print was exhibited there, which is called pellet injuries, where I carved out the eyes first, so that the eyes is white. Rest everything, it's like black figures, and some flames on the background. So it was very successful, but I wasn't so satisfied about the prints, because that was just second print of mine. But I got a chance to exhibit, works. And in the other exhibition, it was at Manhattan Graphics, and it was a miniature show, mini print show, and it exhibited one of the jackfruit print.
Yeah.
Yeah. And witness blinding, I recently, last year, January 10th, I exhibited witness blinding, which the show was curated by me
You
and
made a
four
very
artists
nice
were there.
video out of that too, witness blinding, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that's the change, and I'm so happy about it. But sometimes, sometimes I feel I miss certain things. Basically, family. I call them every day, and the other thing is like how to go forward with this life, how to survive, how to I started teaching in small art centers. They pay me 20-50 dollars per hour, and then I started approaching people. I started socializing more, and friends meet friends, friend introduced to other friends. Now I teach at museums and they pay well, and I do some crafts which supports me. I sell online, and uh, I do kind of ornaments and jewelries to support myself. Now I really have a kind of state that I'm much more stable in terms of financial than India, which really helps me, to support my family on both sides.
Well, it's very strange. I mean, all my life I've considered myself sort of the traditional liberal in the old sense of the word. But, when you talked about in India, you were told to like be afraid of Muslims, because they're dangerous. And it's like in America, it's so ironic, but it's like, you know, right now you're hearing from Black Lives Matter and everything all the time, that, they tell their children, stay away from the white neighborhoods and whatever, stay away from
Yeah,
the police. And when I was growing up, I always heard the opposite. My white parents in very white suburban Milwaukee always said, oh, don't go into any black neighborhoods. You might get shot. You might be, there's danger there. You'll be mugged. Somebody will steal something from you. So those kind of things, I mean, even in Italy, between northern Italy and southern Italy, the northern Italians always would say, like, oh, don't go to Sicily, don't go to Naples. If you do, hold
oh
on to your wallet because your wallet will be stolen. So it seems like no matter where you are, people otherize each other. I mean, it's just, and in India, it's on a religious grounds largely, I feel.
yeah. And Vasco, one more thing I want to tell you. I married to a white woman, and I'm
Right,
taking privilege. I'm taking that privilege because if Anna is walking with me, no one will attack me. You know,
right.
in earlier days, Anna told me like, Sajeev, don't drive alone. I will be drive with you. Like she'll be in the rear seat, right? So but it changed because I started driving well. Now I go places. I'm more confident to talk to people. So I always say when cop stops, you just say that I am an Indian. I am an Indian. I am an Indian kind of stuffs, right? In a funny way, you have to say so that
Well,
it's still a scary part. People,
you have to do your Apu impersonation from The Simpsons.
yeah. So
Um,
yeah.
I think generally you're pretty safe with a cop stop as long as, like, most people who get shot are resisting in some way. They're not
That's
listening to the cops. I think if you like do the freeze thing and just do what they tell you, you're generally pretty safe, you know?
yeah, like you are supposed to follow rules, traffic rules and everything. I
Right,
don't drink while driving. Anna is very strict about it. She won't let me
right,
drink if we are driving, otherwise she will drive.
right,
So in that way it's fine, but I'm much more confident to talk to people. But it can happen anywhere, Vasco, because we are like we are very responsive to kind of the system, right? Against the bad system. If, like, I can say, if I'm in India right now, I will get arrested because of my Facebook post or anything else. So few of my friends, they say that they are feeling so happy, like my close friends. So they are saying, Saji, we are so happy that you are not here, because they are really afraid. People, even close friends, can spy you because they have this kind of right wing thing
right.
in them. From they are from high Hindus, again, like what do you say, um, upper class people, right? But they don't show their color, basically. They will just, even if it's friends, oh, this person is like, kind of stuff. So people started saying me all those things. So um, that said, yeah.
Yeah. You were painting Christmas ornaments. That surprised me.
Also,
You became a
somebody,
little capitalist at Christmas time. You were making Christmas ornaments for
you know what?
sale.
How much I earn? I earn $15, $1,500 in
Fifteen hundred
20 days.
dollars
It's a
by
big money
painting. You were painting cats and dogs and things on glass.
because Americans, right? Americans are fascinated. They are fascinated about pets. So Anna was telling, we take care of pets than humans. People love them. We have cats. I got my cat from Delhi. I have a cat here, which is from Delhi. So what I started making some. I said, Anna, I need to do something because that time we were not working. Anna didn't have this job, and Ginny was like around 7 months or something, and we don't have much money. I said, I'm going to do this thing. Let's see what will happen. I made one or two, and it just spread like wildfire. Someone put it in next door, and I was getting 4 5 orders in a day. So I keep 2 3 4 ornaments at a time, and paint
Well,
it.
next year you start a little earlier and you have a longer period of time in which you can market them, you know.
Yeah. And that thing is working. Okay. After that, I thought, oh my God, this is seasonal. This is seasonal. What should I do to make this work as a business? Because I do have a website and I have a shop there. I started making earrings. So can you imagine? Earrings means reverse painted earrings. Vasco, it's
Right.
there. I can show you some of them. Yeah. So look at this.
Oh,
It's
nice.
reverse painted. I love reverse painting. And I have a plan to make a kind of 10 reverse painting, acrylic, because I never paint, right? So when you paint a reverse, your lines supposed to vanish for me, right? So whatever I am making, it's helping me for further in my
Pretty soon you'll have a
um,
shop on Etsy.
no, Vasco. Etsy. I'm just saying because I'm doing well in my website. I made 40 earrings. I sold around 10. And one earring is $45, $45. Not bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Vasco.
yeah, 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 yeah.
People spend money for that. Yeah, I can't sell for $45 in India. So this is the way how I make money. So, and one more thing, how I started and why I started, because I have a baby. My wife has a job, regular job. We need a regular job to support, medical insurance and everything. One person
Right.
has to have a job. Otherwise, it's very tough. We pay around 80,000, 90,000 something for our, more than that. It's 1 lakh or something medically. I'm just saying because we need some money coming in. I am like putting some very small amount in the family because Anna got this job, so it goes right. It
How
goes
did
to the
those
insurance and everything.
you did some wonderful little lino cuts or something you were selling as a set too.
Yeah, I do have those things. So I started my business with that small mini prints, and it
Yeah.
really worked well. I started painting coasters. So what? So when I was doing all these things, I was thinking it should be the same way in India, right? Like artists should support themselves. Artists doesn't have to be dependent on galleries. In India, it's like without gallery, you can't really survive. You can't sell works.
Yeah.
So whenever here people artists, what I learned is like artists survive in different ways. They have the small fairs, big fairs. They don't depend on galleries. Maybe they are making like landscapes, etchings, landscapes, oil paints, but they survive, and people respect that. People doesn't want to know what is conceptual. People respect every art. People wanted to decorate home. So I really thought about, it should be very helpful for youngsters. To start this kind of work, so to support them. I learned it. I was like it was very tough for me. Um, to be in this field as a business, but then I realized it's very important to
You can
support
start
your practice.
supplying different boutiques,
Yeah. And Vasco,
things like
like
that.
somehow I I got inspired because you used to support youngs. You are still supporting youngsters buying prints, and you supported me also. You bought many prints from me and many youngsters, and you did a good job to support printmakers especially. So I started earning little bit extra. Now I started supporting
Oh,
youngsters. I
good.
bought 4 drawings and prints from kids because 10,000 rupees in US is nothing.
Right.
I'm just saying it's just 1 hour class of mine. One If I do one workshop, I'll get 10,000 bucks. It's 1 hour class. I bought 4, like some of my artist colleagues, artists, like student, they are selling prints for $500. I felt really bad.
Yeah.
Print drawing, so I thought, why? So there is like two different reasons actually. They wanted to, when someone is like working with a gender issue, they wanted to reach it to mass, so they wanted to sell it in that price so that it will reach everywhere. The other stuff is like, how come 500 rupees is nothing for a big artist in India? It's nothing. It's just a coffee for them. So I just
Right.
bought few works, so to support them. It's not about I like the work, and I started buying. I have four drawings and prints, four people's works with me. Like some of them I spent 1,500, some of 1,500, not 1,500, 15,000, 10,000 range. At least I can help that, because when I was doing my masters, I have my teachers who bargained with me to buy a work. They gave me 5,000 rupees for a reverse painting of my grandma. So I was thinking, you are not supposed to bargain with your students. I taught in faculties. I just asked, what is your price? They said 5,000, 6,000, 10,000. I just paid because I have some money. I'm not saying I don't have a lot of money, but it's a kind of support. I missed it. I wanted to give them to the youngsters. Like, I'm not a big money artist or something, but I'm just saying, I earn here something, but I
Well,
wanted
for
to,
me, sometimes it's almost like a superstition. Like whenever I have a show before an exhibition, I'll often go out and buy the work of another artist because it's for me, it's sort of like karma. I feel like if I buy somebody else's work, well, then it'll come back to me during my own exhibition. You know? So,
yeah. So, yeah.
but anyway, I think a
Um,
big mistake. I mean, well, like it or not, we do live in capitalist systems, whether we're in India or in the US. And it's like a lot of young artists never seem to understand that when you say you're an artist in the systems we live in, you're basically saying you're a small business person, and you have to think like a small business person.
that's
and,
true. That's
and
that's
learn.
important to
You
say.
have to
Yeah.
learn an
Yeah.
element of business because otherwise, if you're just always perfecting your art, which of course you should also be doing, but if you're just
Yeah.
doing that, I say some artists are always sort of waiting for, like the tooth fairy with the magic wand to come along and tap them on the head and
No,
say,
no, no,
"Oh, you're a famous artist now," and it's never going to
no.
happen, you know.
And there is no easy way. You have to work, whatever it is. And
And
I
it never
remember,
stops. It never stops.
yeah,
When I was younger, I used to think, oh, if I only got the one good review, if I got into the one good gallery, all of that, then everything's going to be easy. But it never stops. You always have to keep struggling, you know?
that's true. It also helps, to learn how things work out. I really struggled a lot in India. And one more thing, I was like thinking about this thing. Uh, I miss a lot of stuff. I'm just um, changing the topic little because I don't want to miss this words. So sometimes I really feel like the life in India, it was like you can just walk around, see people, look at people, get some ideas. Like, I love expressions like people, how they talk to you, you talk to strangers and all this kind of things, right? I do miss that here because you can't do that here. But sometimes I felt like, I was in India for long, 10 years in Baroda. Delhi, it's like 5, 6 years. I have done that. Now it's time for me to sit in the studio. My wife is so supportive, family is supportive, and I make money. Some money I make better than, like 4 5 times better than, because everything is in dollars, whatever. But it helps. Even small tuitions, I'm taking private tuitions, which helps me to earn more. Private tuitions are expensive here, and I also teach in India for my uh, uh, colleagues, like for my colleagues' kids in India.
You're
I have
doing
6
Zoom
students in India,
workshops or
which I
something,
do
right? You're
tuition,
teaching via Zoom.
Zoom work, because they like the way I approach, the students, how I interact with the students. They don't care, because, and even Zoom and everything helped during pandemic because people started believing online classes benefits. So I'm doing it this regularly, and I'm going to live here. And they know that I am, but I will always make sure that the kids will get something from me, on each classes, right? And I'm doing that every Saturday. I have 3 4 students, and some people are asking me to to start a different batch, but I don't think so. I have a lot of time for that, but that's it. And what I was thinking, yes, now is the time for me to sit in the studio. I have more peace. I have a family. If Anna was not in my life, I like family. When you people have this thought, if you have a family, if you're married, you won't be able to work more. But I did more work after marriage, and I'm still doing, and I'm more powerful. Like I started thinking about more things. I discussed with my wife because she's a historian, which makes it
That
gels
helps a
so
lot.
well. uh, Helps a lot. And her friends are all scholars, so
We're
all of them come
we're
come
going
here.
pretty long. I'm afraid this is going to get way too long. I think we're already up
I'm
to
sorry.
40,
Yeah,
45 minutes. But just
uh,
before we go, I want to ask you one more thing, and that's about
yeah.
the series you're doing now. You're doing little tiny drawings in little
Oh,
boxes. What are those little
yeah.
boxes about? Those are quite wonderful. What are they?
Okay, these boxes was so I started collecting from 2004 2006,
Yeah.
and I do have 1,500 boxes, and most of it means 90% of these boxes are from flea markets in Delhi, Baroda, and different places. And it has different diameters, these boxes. And for me, these boxes are kind of boxes is for a purpose, right? Because some people keep stuffs, some people keep beads. I got a small small rusty box one day from a flea market in Baroda, and which was owned by a watchmaker, and he might have died. And it's part of my work right now, because I just wanted to give a new life to it. I never opened it. So certain memories are those. It's like that work is titled as fragmented memory. So what happened, I started keeping certain found object as it is, and painting started putting paper started drawing on these boxes in a paper. And I'm sure you have seen few of the works.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I'm going to insert them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful.
so these boxes, yeah. So there is a metal thing. This is an image from Kashmir, the women protest. Women's lost their men, son, and everything. So there is a kind of metal sheet. It's a kind of cage. Kashmir, it's like fenced by the regimes. So I did reverse painting in it. I did watercolors. I did put found objects. Um, okay, you can show all those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Found
I'll
objects.
insert images later so
Yeah.
they can
So
see them well.
this is a kind of this I don't think so I will ever stop this kind of process, because I still keep getting more ideas, and it's like much more easier when I go to a coffee shop. I just make small drawings. I have certain images in my mind I keep in my mobile phone, and it's a kind of regular sketch kind of thing for me. When you travel, when you're in aeroplane, you can do the same thing. So this work is mostly many incidences, many what do you say, um, from the history. Actually, some are political, some are domestic. There is so many images overlapping in this, so it's a kind of, I don't want people to erase certain facts. Like people started, even any regime will start erasing the fact that they are in the wrong side. But I just want people to remember and recollect those things. So these are fragmented memories. Each boxes have different stories, and it has a purpose.
I find
That's
them
the
very
idea with it.
beautiful. So we have to wrap
Yeah.
this up. By any chance, is Anna and the baby around?
No, the baby is sleeping, I guess,
Is
upstairs.
Anna around?
Just
Do you want Anna to come in and
she.
say, call Anna and have her say
Um,
hi?
should I call her?
Yeah, call her. Ask her to come
Oh,
and say hi before you go. You got the
Training for my
baby
job.
there. We just wanted to see you
She's
for a moment.
here.
Hi,
Of
Anna.
course. It's so good to see
And
you.
what's the baby's name?
Sarojini.
Saroji. We have Sajeev, Anna, and Saroji. Very
Ye-
nice.
Hi.
Okay.
She was asleep.
I wanted to end the episode with the whole family. Okay.
Aw.
So now I'm gonna say goodbye from Waswaks, Waswa, and Udaipur, Evil O, and the whole family has to wave and say goodbye.
Wave, Sajeev. Say bye
Say
bye, Jimmy. Say
goodbye.
bye bye.